Hey everybody, welcome back. That is if you've been here before. If you've never been here, welcome. Glad you're here. Hey Polo, hi.
If they've never been here before, they could quick leave and come back, or
True,
should
and
they just stay on?
that's right.
Okay,
Oh,
because we
welcome back.
accommodate every.
Hey Polo.
Nice.
So, you told me that recently you had an experience you wanted to talk about and I forget, what was that again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, the experience. Yeah. So I think it was the sample thing. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, that's what it
Okay.
was.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. So I'm not ashamed of this, and I won't hide this on the show. You and I, we share personal information, so I'll just come out and say it.
Well, it's just between you and I.
Or should I come out and say it? I will. I will. We shop at Costco, and so recently there's been kind of a disappointing turn of events there. And I don't put blame anywhere. I just want to share this to kind of maybe educate, maybe warn our viewers, whether they shop at Costco or Roscoe or where your store of choice. We're not endorsing in any way, unless someone were to sponsor us, of course, and we would endorse. But the sample thing has kind of become problematic. So, due to safety issues, we've had to stop food samples, which frankly were the main reason I go to Costco. I mean, no one goes for tire samples. People go for that hot piece of nacho cheese on a chip that sat there for 20 minutes and cooled off just to where it won't burn your tongue. That's what I'm about. But
Never
I
gotten
found
more than
lately,
one sample from the same vendor.
so my personal philosophy is you need to do at least one lap around an end cap, and then I feel like it's fair to come back.
Have you ever had one of those sweet little old ladies say, "Now you've already had your sample," or how does that?
Mm. Oh, I think your mistake there is you don't make eye contact.
Mhm.
Um, and if you need to have like your kids make a diversion or something, there's ways to work around that. We can even talk sometime about like how, as a professional, how should you run the sample gauntlet in a way that you can punch every slot on your card. That's what it's about. And there's we could do a whole Instagram channel. Shout out to our Marco Polo Instagram channel, by the way, if you're new to Instagram or new
Although
to.
I've got a question, and it's kind of an ethics
Okay,
question, if you will. You will, right?
I
Okay,
will.
if you will.
Go ahead.
And that is that when you go up to the sample booth, and like I said, the sweet little lady's behind there, just as you're getting ready to take it, she starts her pitch, right? Well, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times you're in a not planning on staying in the store for hours upon end, and you have other things to do, but you can quickly see that this pitch is going to take a long time. What do you do? Do you go ahead and
That's a
take the sample, eat the sample while she's talking? Do you put the sample in your cart and leave mid sentence? And you can hear that she's still, trailing out like they're on sale for three. And I always feel bad,
totally
but I
natural
never know is it
obedience.
right or wrong.
I suggest if you're there with the whole family and multiple cell phones, I think you can do the tag team thing where you split up and then you have someone do the call your phone as you're reaching in. And so you're getting your bite, your phone is ringing. You say, "Excuse me, ma'am," you turn away, and it might still be awkward, but clearly you're taking an important, maybe even an emergency call for all they know.
What about
That's
children?
worked well for
What
us.
about kids? Do you allow kids
Like turning away from.
to have samples, to have more than one?
Mm,
Um, well,
that's we try to start the kids with the vitamin samples, which frankly are kind of a waste of time, and that's
How
not what
so?
obviously any of us go for. But yeah, well, they're just, it's like, hey, do you want to try this, apricot flavored B71 supplement gel cap? Like, no, actually, I prefer to try the new, jumbo corn dogs. But I don't know I don't know if it's inventory management or how they come up with what gets samples.
Yeah.
And I've kind of wandered way off of my original point, which was to say that so now that food samples aren't safe, they have put up clear plastic plexiglass around the booth
How are they
so
not
that there
safe?
is a tall, well, because of COVID, and that's
Oh,
all that I know, but that's enough.
you,
So,
the food could get COVID too?
oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't ask questions. That's what they
Well,
said.
it's just between you and me. I would never ask them
I think it's because we're in purple zone.
in your country.
Maybe. In our country, we're in purple. We're actually now in something worse than purple, but purple is one of my daughter's favorite colors, which is causing a lot of confusion on the home front. That's a different subject as well. So, so now what I see is they are opening product, like I saw chocolate covered nuts that I would normally get a sample.
Yeah.
Instead, they're arranging them on a plate for me to see, but I can't touch. I can't. Um, and I guess it's helpful for me to see them, although frankly, the nuts already come in a clear plastic container. So I was pretty good on the whole see but not taste thing before. And now they've taken them out of that clear plastic container and put them behind a larger clear plastic container of sorts. So that was an adjustment. I thought, well, that seems a little futile, but I don't get paid to make those big decisions. And
Clearly
and
somebody.
then we also saw cheese samples where it was like, hey, we have, this sharp cheddar and we have this extra mild cheddar. We're going to take them out of the package and cut them up into little squares, which was helpful to know because, frankly, I just nibble off the block, but apparently you can cut them in squares and serve them that way. And it was helpful to see both kinds
So
cut into squares,
maybe the
which
sample
I
isn't
guess they're
so much
both
about the
just,
taste as it is the visual, right? The visual sample. Is that what they're trying to do here with the cheese?
well, I feel like with technology, we could probably, I don't want to get crazy with this, but we could put pictures of products on the actual packaging if we're concerned about visuals. I know that's maybe going out on a limb. I don't want to go too far out there on
Yeah.
that. The cheese samples though were, you're basically looking at two plates of identical orange yellow chunks.
So it's not.
I assume they told me the right way, like which one was which, but I don't really know. How would I know? They look identical, but it was helpful to see. Like you could cut up this kind of cheese into a chunk. You could cut up this one. Oh, and they would look the same.
But you
Um,
weren't allowed to sample them.
was not allowed to sample. I didn't make eye contact with the sampler, samplee, whatever. I guess I'm the samplee. Well, but I'm not because I can't sample. Um, and I think at the end of the day, it's kind of a cool job, right? Like you go home to to your family and they're like, hey, Dad, what'd you do all day? Well, I ran the sample booth. I actively did not give out 369 samples today. They're like, score, nice job,
About
and
that.
you put in for a promotion, and you know how that
Oh
goes.
yeah.
So, but I don't know
And it's
what's
just
been
good
your
to have
experience.
a job that everyone's proud of.
It is a job that everyone can support,
And
or I can support everyone.
yep, it's a fulfilling job.
Mm-hmm. A
How many
little
hours
more
did you stand there?
disappointed. Well, as much as it takes till the job's done.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I am a little concerned too, though, about our stores lately. We're back to the toilet paper shortage. I don't know if your country's experiencing that.
Oh yeah. There's
Um,
hardly any.
I'm a little concerned. I mean, I've been reading some stuff on social media. I know you can't believe all of it, but I have to wonder, is Big TP behind the shortage?
Maybe they are.
You know,
Maybe they
and
have
maybe
their
they
fingers
are.
in that too.
I don't know. Um, and and the thought hit me, and I just want to run this by you that what we need is kind of like, those, you can get like wine of the month club or something like that. What about like a toilet paper of the month club? That way it's being shipped to your home once a month. That's like the supply is right on time. You're not worried about if my store is going to run out. I think it's an idea I could get behind.
It's actually a brilliant business idea for someone. I mean, maybe even we could start that. But then you have your monthly.
It's probably a lot of paperwork, but I'm not afraid of
Oh, you
that.
mean because toilet paper?
Yeah,
That's true. It would be a lot of
yeah,
paperwork.
or
But
yeah.
the
Sorry, what were you
the whole
saying?
monthly reoccurring income business
Mm-hmm.
model. I mean, you could even get like a downline started if you wanted, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then maybe if those people recruited other people,
That's
is that?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, no,
Did you
no,
say
no.
like a drain line? You say
Not
drain line or down line?
downline. Like,
Okay, okay.
you would start here,
You would be here,
right?
and then the next
The
level
next level going down
here.
would they would do their, if they would sell their box of the month
That
to,
yeah.
but not a pyramid.
It's almost well, no, it's not a
It's
pyramid.
not a pyramid. I mean,
It's
it's
like a
shaped like, I guess it is shaped that way.
well, it has three equal sides, but that isn't and that's but it's not a
More like
pyramid.
a
It's just
triangle than a pyramid.
right. Yes, yes. It's not a scheme at all. It's just an effective way to to move finances from one place up to another place in exchange for opportunities or in exchange for product. That's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. Um,
Correct.
and I think, I mean, you think about like, wouldn't it be just kind of a fun surprise each month? Like, hey kids, the TP box is here. Let's open it up. It's like, oh, we got a 3-ply roll here. We got a cottonelle over here. Um, maybe you'd mix in some like imported brands just for the kicks of
Or
it to keep
maybe even
things.
designs, patterns.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like like it could be all kinds of designs and colors. Like it'd be like the washi tape of toilet paper,
Yeah,
right? You
you
like
remember
collect the whole
you
set.
remember those books? This is going way back, but those books you could like stare at the picture long enough and like a 3D image would come out. Like what if we
Oh
printed that on the
yes.
toilet paper? So
And
every
if
um
the image was another roll of toilet paper,
oh that
it's like a
mm,
never-ending supply. Yeah. Whew. Man,
wow.
that's
Hey,
so
you were
cool.
talking
So,
about wine, the wine of the month and the box,
mm-hmm.
the shipment and all that. In our like there are like in our area and elsewhere, the wineries have their
Okay.
wine tasting rooms where they actually allow you to sample the wine before you buy so that you can.
Oh yes.
I wonder if we
Is
could do that
there
with toilet paper, like offer samples.
yes.
But how?
Like, well, okay, but let's think about that because, like I told you, we're having this issue with samples. Um, it's not a food sample though, so probably wouldn't need. Like, it could probably work as a sample. It's like you go to a big box store and you pitch this to them by saying, we don't need to put it where the food is. We put it out in another area, like where there's furniture and stuff. So then it's a natural for the customers. They're walking by, they're like, oh, there's chairs, stools, stool samples, TP samples. It's all right there together in a way that makes a lot of sense for the buyer. And I don't see why not. I mean, I think the other thing is like the wine. People like wine when it comes from like a really special region like Napa Valley or something. Um, we could get like some Napa Valley toilet paper, and we'd be like, oh, we're shipping the 2017 harvest of the late vintage 2-ply product here, and the buyers would be like, "Oh, that was a really good year. We remember,
It
that's
just
great
sound. It has
product."
that sound, right? Like when you choose
Like
certain
this,
words like vintage
yeah,
or even
yes,
recycled.
yes.
Like could we use recycled in our marketing somehow?
We could, well, we could reuse it if we've used it
Like
before. That's
recycled,
kind of what you're
yeah,
saying.
recycled
Or you
toilet
mean,
paper, but
okay,
like
we
organic.
could, well, or we could go with more of like organic matter.
Yeah, because that
Um,
would sound so much more
hmm
like, you know.
We could say like all natural,
Hmm.
and then but then I feel like people are gonna be complaining like, hey, the leaves were too big, the leaves were scratchy, the leaves were dry by the time they got to my house. So I don't know if 100% natural, if we
Oh,
want to
I
go
see what
there.
you mean. Like the toilet paper would be 100% natural, like leaves even.
Right, right, right. Yeah, like where did this all
I
start
mean,
from?
I mean, with that, you could like have sticks, you could have corn cobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would actually probably be the smart. Well, would people buy that?
Hmm. It's an interesting kind of dilemma there to think about. We're shipping it to them. Like they don't have a choice,
True.
right?
Yep.
And if they want to get out of the contract, it's like, well, you can, for 7 months or whatever, you're locked in or something like that.
See,
But
that is how you win. Is a 2-year contract. Anyway,
mm-hmm,
I mean,
mm-hmm.
you let me know what I need to do, and I'll have my people get
I
with your
think
people, and
I
let's
think we
make it
need to, we
happen.
check the details. Let's flesh this thing out, and I know I need to kind of wrap up here pretty soon on my end, but we could, let's keep this thing going.
Yeah.
And someday I want people to be able to say, remember when there was a toilet paper shortage? But thanks to the Marco Polo Box Club, we've been able to put toilet paper behind us, or put the shortage behind us.
I hope it doesn't all go out in the wash, this idea. But like you said,
Like down the drain or
flush out the
something.
details
Yeah.
and get was there anything else that you wanted to talk about before we call it quits for the day?
No, I actually, I was getting a text during the show here from one of my support staff. Actually, my running mate, if you followed our election controversy, well, not controversy here, but was getting a notification that my next event to attend as a political, dad elect and so forth,
You have a rally
um,
tonight?
apparently apparently is coming up fairly soon. So I'll have to, step out for that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, for us, it's still
So
ongoing, and
okay,
it just doesn't seem to ever end. So maybe we'll have to
okay.
get back together and discuss how things are going there on your end and how things are going here. But just
Until
appreciate,
then,
I just appreciate the time.
I do too.
I know your
It's
time
time
is
we can't,
valuable.
and we can't get this back.
No.
It's so precious.
Yeah. Well, until they open sample booths again, just
Be strong,
be strong.
like where the furniture is or something.
Because they're still allowing you to sample furniture, right?
Yeah, yeah. So you'd be walking by, and you're like, oh, we got chairs, stools, stool samples, TP samples. What? Well, they don't have to put it there. They could put it. You could put it somewhere else, but
We're gonna have to do that one over.
we could just leave it. I mean, sorry, folks, a momentary lapse. Is your Zoom breaking up like mine is?
All right.
See a sponsor break?
Well,
I assume so, but I haven't taken any lately.
and now's where you go on and you say what you said before.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
tried
Okay,
not to
like
go
let's redo it right now. Okay, okay, okay. So I think samples are a good idea, and I think
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been great.